Hi guys, you're welcome back. Today we are going to be making a pajama set. A pajamas is simply a nightwear in form of a shirt and trouser. So it can either be a long trouser or a short. And it can also be in the form of a nightwear like a dress, an off-shoulder or spaghetti strap dress which comes from the shoulder to somewhere above the knee. So I already have a video on how to make a chimise, also known as sleepwear or nightwear, which can also serve a purpose of an undergarment for your bridal robe. This video is going to be divided into two: the drafting of the pattern, while the other is going to be the cutting and sewing of the pajamas. To start with, you are going to divide your pattern paper into two like so, because you are going to be drafting both the front and the back together. If you want to draft yours separately, it is totally okay. But if you want to have both front and the back on the same pattern, just divide the paper into two like so. So to know the measurements you are going to use, divide your widest measurement by 4, then add 2 inches plus another 2 inches, because a pajamas it has a loose fit, so we need excess. Then we also need stitching allowance and also the placket allowance. Here at the top I have my starting line, which is going to be the shoulder line, and I'm going to start with the back pattern. The first thing you want to do is to take the neck width and the neck depth. For the back, I use 3 inches wide and 1 inch deep. Then I'm going to connect with a curved line to give me a round neckline. After connecting like so, the next thing you want to do is to divide your shoulder measurement into two. Then you are going to mark half of it like so. So here I'm using 15 inches, that is 7.5 inches. Then you are also going to mark the shoulder slope 1 inch for the shoulder slope. Then you are going to connect to the neck width like so. We are going to be drafting both the front and the back simultaneously. It is not something difficult, it's just like we are drafting a normal basic shirt, but the measurement is going to be a bit different. So just pay attention to what I'm doing. So I actually changed the angle of my camera so that we can see clearly. Alright, now on the front pattern, you're going to leave allowance about 2 inches. Then after that allowance, you're going to measure your shoulder measurement divided by 2, and you mark 1.5 or 1 inch for the shoulder slope. So for the neck now, I'm going to mark 3 inches by 3 inches. And I'm going to connect with my curve ruler to give a round neckline, just like you see me doing. Then I'm going to connect the shoulder to the neck width. So from there, we are going to take our chest line measurements, which is going to serve as our armhole line, and we are going to be creating the armhole curve. So from the shoulder slope, I'll measure down to my chest line. So to calculate your chest line, now you divide your bust by 6 plus 1.5, or you just measure half of your shoulder measurements after the shoulder slope. You mark across and you connect like so. Then you are going to extend the line to the back. Simply measure whatever you have at the front. On the back pattern, then you connect the lines like so. This is because we want to have a accurate line. Then on this line, you are going to measure your shoulder measurement divided by 2 on both the front and the back pattern. So after marking, you are going to connect back to the shoulder slope. You do the same thing on the back. So after this, we are going to be creating the armhole. So first, we are going to measure whatever we have here, divide into 2 equal half, and mark this midpoint. From that midpoint, go in by half an inch like so. Then you connect to the tip of the shoulder slope. Then you are going to connect back to the chest line. But for you to know that, you are going to divide your bust circumference plus 2 inches into 4. Then you are going to mark on the bust line. Then you are going to mark on the chest line like so. So from there, you are going to connect with a curve back to the mid armhole. So with this, you have created your armhole curve. Then you are also going to do the same thing on the back bodies, just like you see me doing. So after this, now we want to take all other vertical measurements, which includes the waistline and the top length, that is your shirt length. So from the shoulder now, you measure down to your half length or your waistline. From the shoulder, you measure down to the top length. For the length now, pajamas is always long a little bit and loose, so you can maintain 26 or 27 or even 28 inches. This depends on how you want it, and you can also maintain 25 inches. So I'm going to mark mine, and I'm going to be adding 1 inch to the shirt length. After marking at the front, I'm going to mark the same thing on the back, because this is a dartless body. This is not going to have any dart, waist dart or bust dart. So I'm going to connect the line from the front to the back. Then I'm also going to extend the waist measurement to the back. Then I'm going to connect with a straight line. After connecting the line, I'm going to make it visible using my marker pen. I already done that, and I believe you can see the lines clearly. So here is our chest line, shoulder line, chest line, waist line, then the shirt length. Now the next thing we want to do now, remember we took allowance, so the allowance is going to be for the placket. We are going to do that later. Now we are going to be taking our body circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches. Okay, on the chest line we take our bust circumference plus 2 inches divided by 4. So whatever you have there, you are going to measure and mark on the waistline and on the shirt length. Then you are going to connect straight down like so. So whatever you take at the front, you are going to do the same thing on the back bodies. So if you want yours to have a bit of shaping by the side, you can simply go ahead and take your waist circumference measurement divided by 4 plus your ease allowance. But because I want mine to be loose from the chest down to the top length, I'm going to leave it like this. So the next thing we are going to do now is to work on the placket, and the placket is going to be here. So before that, I would like to label this the front. So for the placket now, we are going to be taking 1 inch away from the center front line. So I'm going to mark 1 inch from the neck depth area like so. I'm going to mark on the waist, on the chest line, down to the shirt length. Then I'm going to connect with a straight line. So after connecting the line, you extend the neck width. Then I'm going to label it placket. You can also write your button allowance. So this dotted line here means we're going to be having a button there. So the next thing we're going to do before we cut it out, I'm going to label this as the back, and it's going to be cut on fold. So this symbol I have here means I'm going to be cutting on fold. Then for the front, I'm going to cut 2. Then we're going to measure around the neckline for both the front and the back, because we're going to be using the value when you want to draft the convertible collar. If you want to measure for the front, you don't measure up to the placket. It's just the neckline alone that you're going to measure. So whatever you have at the front, you measure and you note it down. Same thing at the back. Then you can now cut out the pattern. Please, if you are finding this video helpful, kindly click on the like button, share, drop a comment, turn on your notification bell, and if you are yet to subscribe, kindly do so. So guys, I'm done cutting out, and here is what I have. The front and the back is ready. Now we can now cut the convertible collar. So for that one too, we are also going to start by drafting the pattern. So you get a piece of paper like so, and I'm going to be drawing a line, a straight line like so. Then I'm also going to be drawing another one vertically. So is this going to be like a starting line for our measurements? So the height of this collar is going to be about 3 inches. 3 inches is okay. Then I'm going to measure the 3 inches forward like so, and I'm also going to connect with a straight line. Okay, so that is the height of the collar, 3 inches. You write it down. So the next thing you want to do now is to take that measurement you measured earlier, the front and the back. We are going to add the value together. All right, so after adding mine together for both and front and the back, I have about 8.25 to 8.5 inches. So you just have to take your time when you are taking the measurement, and whatever value you have, yours might be different from mine. This is because of the way we used to connect our curve ruler, especially the way we place our ruler. But for my own value here, I have about 8.25. So I'm going to measure the 8.25 on this line, on the 2 lines that I have like so, and I'm going to connect with a straight line vertically. So we are going to be needing 2 of these. So one side is going to be the center back, while another one is going to be center front. So this box now, we are going to be dividing into 3. All right, so in this case you might want to use your cm, and at the same time you can go ahead and fold your tape into 3 then you place it on this line and measure on both lines, that is the upper line and the down part. Okay, so I've done that already. As you can see, and I'm going to connect with my pencil. Okay, so the next thing we want to do now is to create the collar from this line that we have here, which is going to be the lower part, that is the part that we are going to be attaching to the neckline. You go up by half an inch, then you're going to connect back to this first line that we have here with a straight line. After this, now you come to this upper part, you measure half inch away from this line, you measure half inch outside like so. Then from that point you go up by another half an inch. I just hope you understand. So we are going to connect from that point back to the half an inch at the base like so. So from there we are going to connect with a slight curve using your curve ruler back to the center or the midpoint of the box like so. So I'm going to use my marker pen to make the lines clear. As you can see, this is the point and I'm going to be connecting like so. So with this we are done with the convertible collar. So I'm just going to go ahead and label this part because it's going to be the center back. We're going to be cutting two of this, one for the lining and one for the main fabric. Then we're going to be adding interface. So we're going to be cutting on this new lines that we have. So guys, this is what the collar looks like by the time I'm done. I'm just going to go ahead and label it. So here that has a bit of curve is going to be attached to the neckline. So just label it in a way that you're going to understand. So I'm just going to write my collar on this one like so. Then as for the sleeve, we are going to be cutting the sleeve directly on the fabric. It's just going to be a basic sleeve. I'll be dropping the link to the video on how to draft a basic sleeve as well. So in my next tutorial, we are going to be transferring our pattern to the fabric, cutting and sewing our pajama shirt. Then I'm also going to be making another video on how to cut and sew a pajamas trouser or pajama short. Please turn on your notification bell if you are yet to do so. Subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss this video. And if you have a video request, you can simply drop in the comment section. Drop your comment, your thought, your suggestion. Check the description box for recommended videos and other interesting videos, and please make sure you like this video so that we can reach people that would want to make something like this. And please subscribe to the channel, like our videos. Until next time, we'll meet again in my next tutorial. Bye bye and take care of yourself. Thank you.